Lost civilizations. There are so many places in the world that we haven't explored yet. But with our modern technology, it's easy to imagine that we could find them if only we look hard enough, and perhaps even actually go there. Here are 10 ancient civilizations that have long been lost. Titi Bolivia. Titi is the lost city in the Amazon rainforest that was first reported by Juan Revenge, a Spanish explorer in 1560. He claimed to have seen a city of gold and riches that could be found only if you followed him there. This would have been quite an undertaking for any explorer at that time. The jungle wasn't exactly welcoming back then and still isn't today. But luckily for us all, he didn't go through with it. Instead, he made sketches of what he saw while they were still alive, but they were never found again after his death, though some people think they might still be out there somewhere. Cibola, New Mexico. Cibola was a mythical city of gold in the northwest of the Americas. It was said to be located somewhere between what is now Colorado and New Mexico, but there's no evidence it ever existed. The story of Cibola dates back to 1539 when Francisco Vasquez de Coronado led an expedition into present-day Arizona and New Mexico. During his travels through this area, he encountered Native Americans who told him about a city full of riches just beyond their lands, a place called Cibola. According to accounts from these explorers, they found nothing except desert terrain when they reached it. However, some historians believe these accounts were fabricated by Spanish conquistadors who wanted people around Europe and Spain alike thinking there were more resources out there than really exist. El Dorado, Venezuela. El Dorado is a fictional city in the heart of South America, where gold is so abundant that it has been used to describe the entire continent. It was thought to be located on an island off Venezuela and Colombia's coastlines. The real-life El Dorado might not have been quite so exciting or well-defended, however, it was certainly full of wonders, and its history reads like something out of an adventure novel. In January 1637, Spanish conquistador Gonzalo de Villalobos arrived at what he believed was an island paradise known as Urcagua, now part of Panama. But when he saw what appeared to be people living there, they had long necks and narrow faces, he realized he had stumbled upon a city filled with giants. These giants were called Guayaki. Their leader was named Paramanoa, which sounds like something you'd find in your local supermarket. The Spaniards were shocked by these strange creatures. They stood 6 feet tall and had huge hands covered with hair. They wore loincloths made from tiger skins. ShangriLa Tibet. ShangriLa is a fictional place created by James Hilton in his 1937 novel Lost Horizon. It's described as a paradise, where everyone lives happily together in perfect harmony. The book was made popular in the 1950s when it was turned into a movie starring John Mills and Julie Andrews. In order to reach Shangri-La, you have to travel through the Kunlun Mountains of Tibet and cross 5 mountain passes, a journey that could take years. Once you get there though, it's like nothing else on Earth, a utopia where all problems are solved with love and happiness, for example, no crime. Atlantis. Atlantis was a mythical island that was supposed to have been the home of a great civilization. It was thought to have been destroyed by a flood, although this is disputed by some historians. Plato described Atlantis in his dialogues Timaeus and Critias, where it is said that Atlantis sank due to earthquakes caused by Poseidon's anger at King Atlas' refusal to support him in war against the gods, who had been defeated. Agatha, Earth's core. Agatha is a legendary kingdom located in Earth's core. It is a place of great wealth and wisdom, with many inhabitants who live there voluntarily. Agatha was said to have been ruled by kings and queens who lived inside Earth itself. Henry, Brazil, Atlantic Ocean. Hy Brasil, or Brazi, is a mythical island that appeared on maps of the Atlantic Ocean from the 15th century. It was thought to be an island off South America and named after its supposed location in Brazil. It disappeared from maps around the 17th century, but there is no evidence it ever existed. City of the Caesars, Brazil. The Caesars city is a former Portuguese colonial town in Brazil, located on the banks of the Rio Negro River. It was built in 1560 and abandoned in 1806 by the Portuguese after they were driven out by Napoleon's army. The city is now a tourist attraction and features beautiful gardens, museums and other structures that reflect its history as a wealthy European outpost during its time as an important port city. The world is a vast and unexplored place. There are many undiscovered places in the world, and there are many lost civilizations. Some of these lost civilizations have been lost for thousands of years. These ancient cultures were not just forgotten by their contemporaries, they have been long forgotten by history as well. A prime example of this phenomenon can be found at Pumapunku in Bolivia, which was one of several cities that flourished around Lake Titicaca during the pre-classic period, 2500 to 1100 BCE, before being abandoned due to climate change and warfare between multiple tribes living within its borders. The site contains a series of huge stone structures built using materials like granite blocks weighing tons each. These structures seem too heavy to be moved by human beings alone, but they weren't built by humans either. Instead, they were carefully stacked stone upon stone until they reached incredible heights without any mortar used whatsoever, and then capped off with another layer on top, and another, and so on ad infinitum until reaching what must be hundreds upon hundreds upon hundreds upon hundreds altogether in total size, combined together into one single massive structure called the Pyramid of Gods. But what is most astounding about Pumapunku is that these structures were not built by humans, but rather by an ancient race of giants with technical knowledge beyond our understanding.